Hi, everyone. Welcome to A New View. I'm Juji, and I'm here with Shira, Lee, and Kim. We are four friends, speakers, and professionals from different cultures, backgrounds, and age groups coming together to offer healing and inspiration. We talk a lot on this channel about positive thinking and affirmations in order to manifest good things into our lives. But what happens when that positivity turns toxic? When you no longer feel comfortable sharing any negativity for fear it will have undesirable impacts on your life? Ladies, who wants to go first?
Ooh, this is this is such a juicy topic. And when we were preparing for this, we actually came across a definition for toxic positivity. And it is the excessive and ineffective overgeneralization of a happy, optimistic state across all situations. The process of toxic positivity, hold on one second. The process of toxic positivity results in the denial, minimization, and invalidation of the authentic human emotional experience. And the reason that hit me so strongly is because I have done it for a very long time in my life, where I just feel like it just has to be good as much of the time as possible. And I just deny my humanity by not allowing myself to go to the darker places. And basically what that does is just, it cuts me off. It used to cut me off from my emotions. Like I would say to myself things like, don't go there, it's just going to bring you down, or like, put on a happy face, or whatever the case may be. I was just always that word minimizing and invalidating that just rings so true for me. I don't know what the fear was. Like, hello, Shira, we all have shitty times and we all have negative thoughts sometimes, and we all just go through crap. Like, what are you afraid of? And so, I can see now that it was a perception issue. Like, I don't want people to perceive me as anything other than happy-go-lucky and, positive and uplifting and all of that. But like I said, it just like it cut me off from a very important side of myself that now has allowed me to make some changes over the last few years that were desperately needed.
Shira, that's so wonderful that you say that, because the reason I wanted to talk about this today is because, we have this channel and we have this platform and we have this way of expressing ourselves. And I was starting to think, like, because we talk so much about the affirmations and the positive thinking and the high vibration and all of that, I don't want anybody who watches us to think like we're happy-go-lucky all the time. Like, this is a snapshot of, who we are and what we're going through. And, we're recording, so we're smiling. But like, sometimes even when we are recording, like, I don't feel like being here. Or like, sometimes when I'm supposed to be having a great time and there's like something else going on in the background, like, I know what it's like to sort of diminish my own experience of life in order to put on this positive spin, because we feel like, again, other people can't handle it. And also we don't want to deal with it. And the reason why this so importantly came up for me is because I'm like reading about, MLMs and cultic behavior. And one of the things that they use to control other people is to say that if you have anything negative to say, something's wrong with you, that the program is perfect, that the sales pitch is perfect, that everything works. If you are not being positive 100% of the time, that's what's keeping you from the things that you desire. And that is toxic, like through and through, to its core, to like victim blame in a way. Like, you're having a bad time, too bad. That's why all of this other stuff isn't going the way that you want it to. And it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy then.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why there's an emotional scale that exists. You know, there's way more emotions on that scale that people feel day to day that they don't even know they're feeling. You know, people just think of emotions. They think of, you know, grief, anger, anxiety, sadness, happy. Like they think of probably the main 5 to 10, but in actuality, there are way many more emotions than that. And that's what's natural for people to feel. People feeling in general, like that's what's natural. And what's healing is the feeling of your feelings. And that's what's so challenging for people, because like you mentioned, people not really wanting to maybe face, like Shira, you were talking about not wanting to face what it, you know, the awful feelings that the other on the other side. I truly believe that when you don't feel your feelings and you repress them, that they're going to show up somehow. Something is going to manifest physically, emotionally, mentally. Something is going to manifest to get those feelings out. Like they are meant to be expressed. They are meant to be felt. I truly believe that the psoriasis I've dealt with for half of my life is repressed anger, repressed sadness, because it is so uncomfortable for me to feel those things. And I understand why. You know, when I was a child, I wanted people to love me. I didn't want to look bad. I wanted everyone, Shira, like you, to show my happy face all the time, because that's what I thought people wanted. And I really truly believe that that is manifested, and those those emotions are, it's toxins coming out of my skin. And I believe that to my core. I really do. And it's a journey. I'm working on it. I'm working on feeling my anger and punching pillows or expressing it in whatever way, but it's uncomfortable. And I really believe that that's why most people do repress any of their emotions, because it's so freaking uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is uncomfortable. And I think that on the heels of one of the last episodes that we just recorded, Sorry, Not Sorry, I think these two kind of integrate really well together, because of the fact that we kind of are sometimes apologetic when we are not positive or putting on our happy face. You know, there are definitely situations that we're faced with where we are not in the right mind frame, or we just went through something and we just kind of feel like we have to put on a happy face, you know, and in those public situations, it's a little bit different, but you're right in the sense that like suppressing these feelings always is just, and being that person that is always positive in every situation, it's very inauthentic. It's inauthentic. And sometimes I feel like you can tell with those types of people. Yeah. So putting a positive spin on everything may not always be right. And I remember like, also certain situations in my life that I've been through, you know, that were really tough, like being diagnosed with cancer and stuff like that. And my first time around, especially when I was terrified, it was so hard for me at the time to be positive. You know, there was a period of time where I just was like, oh my God, and how can this happen? And how can it happen to me? And I'm afraid and I don't want to die. And, you know, and there's always those people, and I think everybody has a good intention, but there are always those people like, it could have been worse. You know, you could have done this, or you could have had that, or you could have gone through that. It could always be worse. And yes, it's true. Everything can always be worse, but don't neglect where you are right now, you know, and it's okay to feel those feelings.
Well,
You know?
this is so interesting for me to be talking about this, because one of the things that just came up in this conversation for me is that it's not like awareness, right? We always talk about awareness, but I think for me, it was more about not trusting that the shitty thing I was going through was shitty, because I would second guess myself and I wouldn't trust myself. And I would look at a situation and say, well, is it that bad? Like, it's not really that bad. And I would rationalize it to death but that was all to keep up my front of everything's okay. And as we've discussed in other episodes and in general, like the more you deny and minimize, it's like what Oprah used to say, you know, like the universe speaks to you in a whisper and then it throws a pebble at your head. And so but I see now that I didn't trust my gut. I didn't trust my intuition about something is very wrong here. I would just be like, I would pride myself on like, I'm going with the flow and I have perspective and all of that. And it feels so good to have the freedom and to give myself the permission to say, that's not okay. Now I feel like I catch it before it turns into the tsunami of really big problem. And I just check in with myself. I check in with myself. And it's important to do that. You know, hey, Cheryl, like, was that people-pleasing behavior again? Or are you second guessing yourself again? Because you know deep down that that's not the right thing to do, or that wasn't the right thing for them to say. And, you know, you call people on it and you call yourself on it.
We did have a little technical thing going on there. I don't know if you guys saw it too, but
Oh, did I cut out? Did I cut out?
I heard most of what you said. It just, you know, kind of skipped a little bit.
That's a shame because it was brilliant. Anyway,
That was the best.
I definitely heard most of it.
I did too. And one thing that came up when Lee was talking and like further kind of snowballed when you were talking, Shira, is like, isn't it exhausting?
Mm.
Isn't it so much more energy that to like deny those things and like zip up into the happy version of yourself? And also like very important, the whole denying of your own instincts and your own reality of what's going on to serve the greater good of staying positive. Like, you know, like in a way, what you're doing is you're gaslighting yourself. Nobody has to make you feel like you're crazy for experiencing something a certain way. You're gaslighting yourself. You're making yourself feel like you don't deserve to have that feeling, or you don't deserve to recognize when something isn't correct for you. And I think one of the reasons why I love this like practice of awareness is, like you said, catching it before it gets too big. And I think that it's become like a hyper aware thing for me, where it's like even the smallest sort of like discomfort sets off something in me that goes, no, pay attention. This isn't right. And sometimes it's my own thing. It doesn't have to come from the outside. It's like, I actually was like having a moment with myself the other day when I was like procrastinating on something. And then I was like, okay, what is this procrastination about? You know, like I should be positive and I should just like, you know, it's on my list, like get it done. But I know what it feels like when I really truly feel aligned with a task and how I can't wait to get it done. So what is this trying to show me? What is this procrastination about? Okay, I'm going to go for a walk and maybe I'll come up with a solution. Oh, the solution still isn't here. That's okay. I'll figure it out. And a few days later, I got the coconut on the head of like, you're procrastinating because this isn't aligned to you. You don't want to do this. Your mind is telling you that you should, but you don't really want to do this. This isn't really what you're passionate about. So don't. So don't.
And it's okay.
You
So
know,
good to listen to ourselves, right? To really
Wow.
listen to ourselves.
yeah,
And I love that concept that we gaslight ourselves. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's
Whole nother, I got to wrap my mind around that.
but it's so true if you think about, there's other people and then there's us, and we're the ones denying ourselves alignment of our feelings and denying ourselves the expression of them, denying ourselves the feeling of them. Who are we impacting negatively? Only ourselves.
Mhm.
No one else has anything to do with that. It's only us. Like, what's the cost of that? The cost only impacts us, no one else. It's really very interesting. You know, through Juji and human design, I learned about that I have an emotional wave. And for those who are watching, they could easily Google that because it's like a whole huge episode in and of itself. But with this emotional wave, I learned that I have low times in my wave where I just feel down. And there's no reason. There could be reasons and circumstances and things going on in my life that I could tell myself, oh, that's why I'm down. But it's really like a practice of just being with those feelings and honoring them. And because I have this history of, I feel uncomfortable, feeling anger, sadness, whatever, nope, let me put on my happy face. Like, you know, I'm the type to like throw toxic positivity and let me focus on what I'm grateful for. I have so much, so much good stuff in my life, blah, blah, blah. And you see it on social media all the time, right? Like, people post positive things so often. And there's like a whole other emotional side to this person that you don't see, because on social media, people show us and I'm guilty of it too, for sure. I've stopped posting on social media. If I'm down and I don't feel like it, I won't. I'm not going to post something positive when I'm not in that mindset. I just refuse. And I'm trying to just communicate more to people when I am down, because I'm not used to that either. I'm not used to saying to someone, I really just don't feel like talking this week. I don't feel good. I'm down. That's something I would never say in my life. I would never admit that, because somewhere deep, deep inside of me, someone's not going to like me if I'm not uppity, bubbly, and positive. But I'm starting to really learn and have that awareness now and like honor my emotional wave. And I have to say, Juji, you said the word exhausting. Oh my gosh, honoring when I am down and just saying, okay, I'm going to sit with these feelings today. I'm not feeling my normal happy self. It's okay. And like giving myself that permission, it really is like the path of least resistance. I didn't realize what a resistant path I was on before, but yeah, exhausting is like the word. It is really tiresome to pretend.
It is. The thing about social media, though, is it's not real life. And I feel like the reason that we see everyone's lives seem so incredible and flamboyant, and it's because they usually only post when there is something positive, when they're on vacation, or when their kid gets a medal for something. But yes, we need to be aware of the fact, obviously, that everyone has their down days and everybody has issues in their life. And I think so much of this show, Juji, you mentioned before how, we go through things, obviously, and we talk a lot about how to be more positive, or how to get over issues with different conflicts in relationships. And I think we've shared so much of that over all of these 100+ episodes of our lives. I mean, we're human beings, and we've run through the gamut. And that's why, that awareness and the consciousness and recognizing, we kind of like, if you take yourself outside of you and observe, this is, I think, where we are a lot more so today than we used to be.
Mhm.
We can assess ourselves so much better. And this allows us to progress in life, to feel better, to be able to also nurture ourselves when we need to, and when we're down, and then celebrate those happy, amazing moments, when we need to. And perhaps when we're not feeling great, to honor that, like some of you have said, and be okay with that, and then also, I think one of the more important things also is like when we are down, or when something is going wrong in life, is like, how long will you stay in that space? You know, what are we doing, or what can we do to get ourselves out of this funk? Because it's not something that you want to stay in all the time. That would be easy.
Well, it's interesting that you're saying that. Well, one of the things that popped into my head when you were talking about how people just post positivity, because I mean, this is a few years ago. There was like a phrase that totally hit me between the eyes. It said something like, you know, the reason there's so much insecurity in the world is because we're constantly comparing our behind the scenes with other people's highlight reels. But guess what? Everyone's got the behind the scenes. They just don't want you to see it for toxic positivity reasons. But you all know that I'm a poet and I love quotes and stuff. And I think I've brought this up on other episodes, but once I had my own awareness of how my toxic positivity was negatively influencing me, I just came up with the phrase, sit with the shit. And that's really helped me. You know, I'm like, no, Shira, this is shitty. Sit in it, be with it, just feel it, feel the shitty thing. And then you can move on. I remember I have an identical twin sister. And when I was in my little delusional rah, everything's great while I'm drowning in quicksand mode, she would say things to me like, something like, you know, sometimes it feels like you're a robot, like you're not real. And I can so see that now, because I was just like, everything is, you know, remember the Lego movie? Everything is awesome. Remember that Everything is Awesome song?
Yeah.
People would literally like, sure, that's your theme song. And look, for the most part, I am positive, but I also absolutely delusionally, you know, didn't let myself go there. And now I do. And it does feel way more authentic and less judgmental of other people who have their own negativity. I feel more compassion and empathy.
Doesn't it also make you feel lighter? Like you are, you know, we're doing this work and we're going through these painful times and these practices, but it also, I feel like, you know, takes the weight off. It's healing, it's detoxing to our emotions. And that's where it's at. And that's, you know, that's the tough part, but it's work.
Yep. And it's a process. We always talk about that too, but you know, if you believe you will get there, then eventually you will.
Yes.
Isn't it interesting how the words feel your feelings, it just sounds like so unbelievably simple and easy. But I think for sure that is one of the most challenging things for a human being, is to sit with their shit.
Yeah, but I always say simple, but not easy.
Right.
Like
Right.
the concept is simple.
Right.
The practice of it is what's not easy.
Exactly. Because we get on our own case about it, right? We gaslight ourselves. We second guess ourselves, right? But that's why meditation is so important, and also simple, but not easy. But when you can get yourself to a place of stillness and just allow yourself to feel those things. And again, it's a process, but when you get there, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, that's why I like older and wiser. I like being older.
And this, everything we talk about is work, yes. But I think the harder work is when you're sort of the denial part, the working against part, the not allowing yourself to feel part, like all of that feels just, even just saying it feels
heavy
icky and hard and tough and
yeah.
Instead of just going with the flow. Oh, I feel down today. Okay, let me take it easy today. Let me go easy on myself. Let me be gentle with myself.
God, we've evolved.
It's true. I think this is a good place to wrap it up, since we've all shared so many beautiful nuggets. If you've enjoyed our conversation, please subscribe to our channel and be sure to let us know if you have any topic requests or questions by commenting below. We'll see you soon. Thank you for watching and stay safe, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.